Welcome back, Odooers. My name is Jose Ignacio. In the previous video, we talked about resupply subcontracting, in which our company supplies a subcontractor with components directly from our own warehouse. However, sometimes we want to dropship a subcontractor with components directly from a separate vendor instead of shipping the components from our own warehouse. So here's a breakdown of how this works in Odoo. A customer orders a piece of furniture. We place the purchase order for the furniture, which will create a dropship order to ship the components from a vendor to our subcontractor. Once that subcontractor receives the components, they manufacture the furniture, and finally, they deliver it back over to our warehouse. So, drop shipping to a subcontractor allows us to outsource production to a manufacturer with the necessary expertise without worrying about any storage overhead or the cost of shipping components from our warehouse. Again, like in basic subcontracting, we don't have to manage any part of the production. Instead, we simply purchase from our subcontractor and components vendor, track the order, and receive the finished product. All right, enough chit chat. Let's jump in and see how this works. So here I am in the Odoo dashboard. If you haven't already, be sure to watch our video on basic subcontracting, where we covered any prior configurations needed to enable subcontracting. Now for dropship subcontracting, we need to make sure that our dropshipping feature is enabled. So to check, I'm going to open up our settings application over here. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to select purchase. Great. Scrolling down to the bottom in the logistics section, make sure dropshipping feature inside of here is enabled. This allows us to drop ship each component to our wonderful electric standing desk over onto our subcontractor. Before moving on, if it's your first time here, remember to hit save. All right, now let's start by configuring a vendor price list to create a PO for our subcontracted desk. So to do that, we're going to go back to home. We're going to open up the inventory application and then select products and products. Boom. Now you can search for it, but I've already favorited it, which always makes it easy in Odoo. So we're going to open up the electric standing desk. All right. On the form, let's click into our purchase tab. So next, we're going to add our subcontractor by clicking add a line. Great. And now we're going to select Openwood. They've always been very open. All right, our quantity is going to be 1. And then our unit price over here is $5.99. Boom. So for dropship subcontracting, this lead time that we happen to have over here represents the total amount of time it will take for the subcontractor to receive the components, manufacture the product, and deliver the finished product to us. We estimate that it's going to take around 60 days in total, with 15 days for the dropship vendor to ship the components, 30 days to actually manufacture this product over here, and then 15 days to deliver said product back over to us. So once that we get the finished product, it's been a total of 60 days. So we've entered 60 for the lead time. As always, we also create a bill of materials or BOM by clicking on our bill of materials smart button over here up at the top. And then we're going to click new. Great. So for this one of the very first things that I want to pay your attention to is this BOM type. We're going to click and select subcontracting. And we're going to select Openwood from our subcontractors field that we have right there inside of that little menu. So then, once we're done with that, let's add components by clicking add a line over here to the far left. And now we're going to select what we need. It's going to be a desktop. And we also need another thing in there, and it's going to be a desk frame. I love that everything auto completes always. It makes it really easy. And a motor. We need all those things for one of these electric standing desks. Okay, now we need to configure each component's route and vendor to tell Odoo how we want to supply our components and who will supply them. So this is the crucial part. If we don't specify this, Odoo will actually default to supplying the components from our own warehouse. So to start, we actually want to go on and click on the word desktop, and then we're going to use this nice little arrow for the internal link. So we're going to go over here, and we're at the products form. So first, and this is very important, I'm going to select, in this case, the dropship route for the product by clicking into the inventory tab. And you can see it right there. Boom. Checkboxed. We're all set. Next, I also need to specify our dropship vendor by clicking into the purchase tab over here. And once again, we're going to have to add them. It's going to be Azure Interior for our desktop. Now, every time that we purchase the subcontracted product, Odoo will automatically create a separate request for quotation or RFQ to buy the components from the vendor. When we confirm that RFQ, Odoo will create a dropship order to deliver the component to the subcontractor. And again, remember to configure the rest of the components with the same process. With all our configurations done, we can kickstart our subcontracting workflow by creating that purchase order. So let's open up the purchase application over here and select new over here at the top to open up a new RFQ. So we're going to set the vendor field over here to Openwood as our subcontractor. So we're also going to add our product by clicking the Add a Product line down below, and we're going to select that electric standing desk that I've been talking about. So everything looks good over here, including, would you look at that, our expected arrival date of 60 days out, which we previously configured with the lead time earlier. Nice. So to finish, I'm going to select Confirm Order up at the top, turning this RFQ into a purchase order. So now you'll notice the Receipt Smart button appears at the top of the form, which will eventually click and validate to receive the finished product. But first, we need to dropship the components through our vendor. So remember that Odoo automatically creates a separate RFQ for the components when we confirm a purchase order. So let's go back to the request for quotations through the breadcrumbs. Boom, over here. And look at that right there. A new RFQ for Azure Interiors on the first line. And when we click it, we can verify that everything looks good on this form. So let's select Confirm over here to confirm that the components have been sent. So you'll notice that a Dropship Smart button appears at the top. Now, once the components have been delivered, we're going to click on this Smart button over here. Then we're going to validate to confirm that the subcontractor has received the components. Now, let's go back to the source purchase order via the source PO button over here. Boom. So at this point, as soon as our subcontractor receives our components, they can actually start manufacturing our desk. Then after 30 days or so, they deliver our finished desk to us. All that is left to do, and all that we have to do, is to receive it into stock. So to do that, we're actually going to click on this Receipt Smart button to open up the receipt. And here we go. So inside of here, we're going to click on Validate, boom, to receive our finished product into stock. And there you have it, Odooers. We learned how to configure a subcontracted product, create a purchase order for a subcontractor, drop ship them the components, and finally receive this finished product back into inventory. Thanks for watching. I'm going to see you in the next video. You're doing great. Go grab a snack. I finished the chocolate bar.